So we are back again with the All Things Arsenal podcast. Of course, I'm joined by my special guest, Jez, whose link to his channel, people, is in the description. So if you're not, by some means, not subscribed, go over there and subscribe. He's got videos out, so make sure you watch him after this one as well. But Jez, how you doing?
Oh, God, great, Gracie, absolutely great. Can't believe how the channel's gone, to be fair. Complete shock. But I've put it out there a million times. Without you, it would never have happened. So, I can't thank you enough for what you've done. And after you'd set the channel up, you subsequently went in and sorted out some issues that I had. And you did it. Your ability to do these things is just amazing. And I just hope we can get your channel up there more as well, and my channel will grow. And I think the parents, we've got some great content. The things that you come out with, and some of the things you've told me that you're planning, I think it's awesome, absolutely awesome. So everybody, get out there and support Gracie-Mae. And if not, her mum's coming for you.
And she is watching, so watch out, people. Yeah, thanks. I always love to help other people, and set up something like this is brilliant, and you're doing so well at it. And I'm also excited to see what you've got coming, because I know a few things and I'm very excited. But there's more to come. But in this podcast, basically, I'm fed up with the current Arsenal and talking about it, to be fair. And everyone's rambling on about how bad we are. So I thought we'd mix it up a bit today. And as you can see from the title, we're going to be diving into a bit of how we became fans, and also why I've actually made the channel. I do mention it here and there, but we're going to get more into it today. But we're going to start off with you, Jez. Where did it all begin of you being an Arsenal fan?
Well, it all started in Gillespie Road, North Bank ends. My grandparents moved there in. They rented the house in I think it's about 1920, 22. And my granddad decided to go and watch an Arsenal in 1924, and went on, loved it. Stalwart supporter, watched them through the 20s, 30s, part of after the Second World War, 50s, 60s. And whenever I went up there as a little kid, because when I was born in 61, my parents were renting a house in Avenel Road. So basically, going to my grandparents' house was no distance. And whenever I used to go up there, if on a whatever day, not match day, but whatever day, after school, whatever, my granddad would always sit and talk about Arsenal. He'd tell me stories about the great 30s teams with Herbert Chapman, with the iconic players we had, Cliff Baston, all these amazing footballers that achieved such an incredible success. And the fact that Arsenal won 3 league championships on the bounce, we've never done that since. And the FA Cups were won, and it was some of the games where Arsenal absolutely slaughtered teams. And we went on from there, and when I was old enough, when I got to the age of, I think I was 7, 8, he took me to my first ever game, which was the 1969 League Cup final against Swindon Town, where we lost in extra time. That was my first ever game. Sorry, my first ever cup game. Then the following season, at home, went to my first league game. Now, Grandad always used to go to the North Bank, but he wouldn't take me in the North Bank. He said, "You won't see the game. It's too much of a crush." My mum didn't want me to go in the North Bank, so he always used to go in the upper West tier. Now, considering we used to live right opposite the East Stand, we used to walk all the way out Avenel Road, Gillespie Road, Highbury Hill, to go in the West Stand. The reason we did that was predominantly, my granddad said, in the winter, the rain is coming from the west and you won't get so wet. So that's what we did. But it was amazing, really. Listening to stories, meeting up with some of the players, because my granddad was lucky enough to have a lot of inroads into Arsenal, because at one point in the 60s, he was a steward at Arsenal. So he had great contacts. And so luckily, I quite often got snuck in to areas that no other fan would get. You know, I met Bertie-Mee and all these people as a young kid. So I was very privileged and honoured to be able to have that historical background that I was able to get from my grandfather. And I became a lifelong Arsenal fan. The club that if you cut me in half, it's got the Arsenal badge right through there. And I just love this club. And it saddens me to see what's happening today, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. My story is pretty similar to that, to be fair. And we have a lot in common. Mine basically started the day I was born, 21st of June 2005. That was it. Arsenal fan. My mum will see. She's what she'll know in the chat. My it all started with my granddad, and yep. Here we are, 2005. Minute of like probably an hour after I was born. Arsenal scarf, boom. Arsenal teddy in the crib, still in the hospital by the way at this point. Arsenal fan, christened. We're done. And then pretty much like I would just talk to my granddad every day. You know, I got my first Arsenal kit when I was about 2. Still got them all, and yeah, every day up until he died. Really, I had just Arsenal. I would call him up during the game, mid game. You know, probably shout down the phone when he's like annoyed at the game. We would talk about it morning, night, even. So basically, my whole life's just been surrounded by everything is Arsenal. Like this, what I live around. Yeah, so I've always been an Arsenal fan, and it's one of the main reasons why I started the channel. Unfortunately, he died in from COVID a year ago. So crazy how time flies. But we had plenty of amazing experiences. I was lucky enough to be a VIP with him. And yeah, I did go to Highbury, but I don't remember it at all. I got snuck in probably when I was about 2 weeks old, and I got snuck into the North Bank, which I don't know how that worked, but so there was that, and then I was touching the walls of Highbury when I was like 2 months old, on the East Stand and all of that, and then obviously all I've ever known is Arsene Wenger and the Emirates, really, which is sad because I've barely ever seen trophies apart from FA Cups. But yeah, amazing memories that have been made, and I'm sure you're the same. Like it's built around my childhood, really, is football, and it's quite rare as well for girls to have that. I know you're out there, all the female ones. I know you're out there. We all hide, but yeah, it's great to. The point of this channel is to actually share like the stories, the legacy, like that's why I do it. I don't do it for anything else. Like it's for that reason. That's why I have the shirts in the background. Those aren't mine. So, you know, we're very similar in that sense that we had the same ones. I think the first game I went to was every year we used to go to the Emirates Cup. Always went to the Emirates Cup. That was probably one of the first games I went to that I even remember, to be fair. So that was that, and then yeah, I've been lucky, very lucky and fortunate to be surrounded by it all as well for a lot of time. Here we go. My mum's going to crack out the stories in the chat because I won't remember. But we were having photos taken with the FA Cup at Highbury at the time, and he took you to the peak of the North Bank. There we go. There's the stories that I won't remember. But Jez, what was your most favourite memory of being a fan, whether that's in the stadium or the celebrations after we won?
Cool, that's a good one. My first massive memory was going to the 70-71 FA Cup final. the classic game that people keep repeating and showing when Steve Highway scored for Liverpool, and then we went on to win it in extra time, 106th minute with Charlie George, and it was a boiling hot May day, and it's quite funny with Wembley, isn't it? It usually is a really hot day, and that was an unbelievable experience. Probably my next experience was obviously when I went up to Anfield, the 89-90, when we beat Liverpool 2-0. Alan Smith, Mickey Thomas, Michael Thomas. And to go up to Anfield and win that game 2-0 at Anfield, where you have to remember that Arsenal were walking away with the league after the terrible tragedy that had happened at Hillsborough, that they caught Arsenal up and it came down to the wire. And we went up there having not beaten them at Anfield since 1974. 1974. Because Arsenal in the 70s went through a pretty poor period. There's so many experiences. I mean, watching as a kid when Arsenal, when we had all the bunting up outside house in Avenel Road, round Gillespie Road, and you get the open top bus tour at Highbury, and it'd just be party, because Arsenal won an FA Cup, they'd won a league championship, whatever. It was just an amazing experience. When Arsenal won the Cup Winners' Cup, let's get it right. Arsenal aren't great in Europe. Let's be fair. So that was an experience. But there were so many special occasions, and the thing is, years ago in the 70s, 80s, 90s, when I lived there, it was a community, and every single day you'd talk about Arsenal. Every single day, and next 2 doors up from where my parents' house was, there was a guy there about a little bit older than my granddad, and he used to tell me stories about Arsenal, his experiences. He used to give me programs and things that he didn't want and everything. And he actually gave me a shirt from 1948, and I've got it. I'm just trying to bloody find it because it's upstairs in the loft in a suitcase, and I've got to dig that out because that is an iconic football shirt. Yes, I could talk for hours about my experiences and bore the crap out of you. So, yeah, I just love the journey with Arsenal, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. It is a family, and I've grown up in a family where literally everybody supports Arsenal and has, like, since they were born. Like, it's all it is really. It's all you talk about. Like, but before you even say hello to each other, you're like, "Oh, did you watch the game?"
Yeah.
Like, it's things like that. It's not like you're so attached in a way. Like, you literally live and breathe it, which I think it's very. It's not like it's rare these days, but it's not common that you have families that all support the same team, and that's why we're here. We're here to show you a bit of an insight with that. I'd say probably the thing that sticks out to me the most. So I wasn't even at the game, but it was 2015 when we won the FA Cup, and we had the yellow kit at the time with like that sort of the round neckline, and Arteta was in the squad. And when we won, I remember we all went to my granddad's house. We were all so nervous, like Arsenal shirts on for hours before, like since we woke up, and then you had the like flags and banners like outside the house. Like it's all you would do. So by the time we sat down and watched, we had it on 2 different TVs. I don't know why. It's a weird detail to remember, but we watched it. And like it was the most nerve-wracking day of my life. All I remember is Arteta actually doing something right, and he's like running down the wing, and like we end up scoring. And I remember like we jumped and screamed like actually like there's no feeling that you can actually describe. Jumped to scream. My granddad got on the phone and he was like screaming down the phone like we've won it, and we were just like jumping for hours and hours. But like throughout the game, I'm much like my granddad. We don't really sit. We're like pacing up and down, especially North London derbies. Like they're the worst day for me because like hours before I'm like actually physically nervous. Before I'm literally shaking because I'm like, if we lose, like it's Tottenham. I'm never gonna hear the end of it till the next game, and I just don't sit down. I just like pace up and down, and like it's things like that, like small details. Not even being at a game, it's the small details. Even when you're at home watching it, so I can't do watch-alongs anymore. People, I'm sorry, it's too like I'm too tense. Like because it means that much. Even no matter what game it is, even now if it's like you know I know in our recent for like Brighton or so, I'm still as nervous as I would be like if we're in a final. Like that's how it feels. It literally runs through you. I don't know if you're the same with watching the game.
I think not so much now because I think I've seen so many games, been to so many games that it doesn't. This is going to be difficult to explain. Yes, the passion is all there, and I never want Arsenal to lose. But of recent times, with the current setup, structure of the club, I have no expectations.
Yeah.
So I don't get the how can I put it? I don't get the excitement because I don't. I actually go into a game and I think, well, you know,
here we go again.
Yeah. Like Palace, Palace
Yeah.
away, as you quite rightly said, it's a difficult day out. It always has been. They're relentless, their fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing place to go and watch a game of football. But to capitulate like we did, I was expecting it, to be fair. With the current setup, the depth of squad we've got, I had no faith that Arteta could actually win that. But we'll get off all that because this is a different show.
Yeah.
So it's quite amazing, really, isn't it? That you were born or your grandparents lived in Gillespie Road, where my grandparents lived. It just shows what a small world this is. Yeah. And I was chatting to a mate of mine, and as you said, you always talk about when you lived there. You always talk about Arsenal. It wasn't how you doing. It was like, what do you think about the game on Saturday? It wasn't like, how's your mum? What's going on? Oh, what do you think about the game Saturday? Do you think we've got a chance? Are you going? This sort of thing. And the fact that your grandparents lived there, I wouldn't be at all surprised, Gracie, at all, if my granddad knew your granddad. I wouldn't be at all surprised because they both went in the North Bank. They hung around Arsenal for a hell of a long time. And I was thinking about this a few weeks ago. No, more than that. When you first mentioned it, I thought, knowing the community that was there, and I dare say your granddad liked to go out for a pint.
Probably.
And I would put £1 million on the fact that they knew each other at some point.
I wouldn't be surprised if you crossed paths either, to be honest, because he was 63 last year, so he was 64 now. And
it's about the same age as me.
Yeah, so it's so small.
He would have been around the same. He would have been around there at the same time as I was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, chat. Like I can see everyone in the comments. Like this is why I wanted to do something like this as well. Like it's really important to share it because otherwise I don't really talk about it much anymore, and it's sad, really.
Yeah,
so
Jack, I've got it, mate. Jack Ramsey.
He's got it. He's got his one. Let's read some comments while we're here. We'll take a break from down memory lane and see what everyone else is saying. Big up to everyone that's in here right now, like Joanne, Mr. B for Life, Craig. No worries. Like real ones in here, real ones. And then my mum as well. Big up my mum. So Granddad in all his years fan and never watched a penalty shootout. He would pace up and down the hallway and wait to hear our reaction. That's true. I can't watch it. Penalty shootouts or penalties. I'm like on the floor, like literally on the floor, like in a mess. And then when we do win, I mean when we won the FA Cup in lockdown, my neighbour 2 doors down was Chelsea, and oh boy, did I literally scream out the window like singing with joy. Where are we at? Where are we at? I'm sadly at that stage 2 now, Jez. Very hard to be excited. Anything under our current structure, I agree. I don't get excitement now. Sometimes I feel I'm excited, buzzing for Arsenal, but trouble is we were missed against Brighton. The squad weak, spineless. Well, hopefully we can get back together soon. I agree with you there. There's no excitement. The passion has gone. It's doleful, lightless, uninteresting these days with Arteta. Anyway, I support Arsenal since 2006. I was never into football, so I got into football in the late 2000s. Big up to Del Boy. Make sure you go over there and subscribe. Real one. He went to the Brighton game, unfortunately, but he's dropped some great videos from there. So make sure you go check out all of his fan cams, etc. There's so many comments here. Not going to be able to keep up. We'll just do a few more and we'll come back. I've been supporting Arsenal since 1987. It really hurts to see how far we've fallen. You know what? It actually hurts as well. I not so much this season, but like watching it like last season, I was actually upset. Like I used to wake up on match days and I used to be like, I used to count down the hours. Like I was that excited to watch a game. And now it's like, oh, Arsenal are playing today. Like it's there, like that excitement's still there, but not as much as it used to. And I really do hope that comes soon. Jez, when did your granddad stop going to football? Did he have to stop due to age or something? Because my uncle passed at 72. He used to write to the club asking why Alan Smith wasn't playing.
My granddad died at 98. So his last game, he only ever went to the Emirates twice. He was too old, too frail. He was heartbroken the day that Highbury got knocked down, or altered, adjusted, whatever you want to call it. And basically, he just couldn't do it. And his last game, I think I'm right in saying, was 2003. I think. But yeah, he hated the Emirates because he basically grew up around Highbury, and it did have a big effect on him. I won't lie. It did have a massive effect on him. He was an old man, obviously, a bit like me, but he was very frail, and I'd obviously moved away by then and had moved out of London, but my mum still lived in Avenel Road until 2 years ago, before she passed away. So, it was a sad day for him because he knew so. I can remember when we used to go to games, and I was in my 20s. It'd take us half an hour, literally, and I'm not kidding you. I'd get to his house, and I'd meet him, and we always had dinner at my granddad's house, me and a couple of mates, and it was always the same thing. It was pie and chips every game. And time he'd left the front door to go into the North Bank or the Upper West in the later days, it could take us half an hour. Because he'd be, all right, Bill, that's my granddad. Hello, Bill, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. He'd be chatting to people. And so, he was then probably early 80s, somewhere around there. And he knew so many people and people that knew him. And when he used to go to the pub that's now gone, he'd be in there and he'd be telling the stories. And people, I'm talking people in their late 20s, 30s, would sit there with their pints of beer, aghast. He'd be telling the stories of his adventures with Arsenal, the stories of Arsenal in the great 30s, as they progressed in the 40s, late 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And I can remember when I'd moved away, I used to go up and take him out for a pint. And he'd go in that pub and people would still say, "Hello, Bill, how you doing? Like, how you get on, mate? You know, what a pint." Yeah, okay, man, I'll give you a pint. And my granddad was a great darts player. Not professional. He was a very good dart player. And he always has this trick of people say, "Do you want to go to darts, Bill?" You go, "Yeah, all right, I'll give you a go." And he'd always give them a 100-point start. He was a very, very good dart player. And the man, he used to play people for a fiver. Like, put a fiver on the bullseye. And if you can get three darts in the bull or the 25, you won a fiver. I don't ever recall to this day seeing him lose that. Well, I've ever been with him. He probably did, of course. But every time I watched him do it, and he was a bugger. I'll tell you, my granddad was a crafty old bugger, because he would always say, "Right, we're playing with my darts." And people go, yeah, that's fair enough, that's fair enough. But what he used to do was gently twist the flight. It wouldn't fly straight. It would go like that. And I knew what he was doing, and it used to make me laugh because people never sussed it. And then people would say, "Well, how come you can throw the dart straight?" And he'd go, it's so funny.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant. Yeah, I just remember, like, there's just so much to talk about, and I'll get into it as much as possible on this channel. And if anyone that's new or that's joined, make sure you go subscribe to Jez as well, because at some point all the stories will be shared over on there. Yes, Sarah is my mum. That is my mum. So if you see her, be nice. Our whole family are mainly from Kentish Town. There you go. So many people in the chat right now. If please make sure you smack a like on this video. Get us out there, get it sharing. Here to share a legacy, and we're only going to keep growing, and I'm very excited for it. I do actually have some new stuff, and I did record today, and that will be out tomorrow, hopefully. So tomorrow, probably at 12 p.m, I'll be posting a video about actually one of the games I went to. It's a bit of a reaction because there was a vlog. None of you can see it, but you'll be seeing it tomorrow. It'd be a bit of a laugh, so make sure you check that out. So yeah, many exciting things to come. I think probably the best experience I actually have had at Arsenal was at that VIP match. Like, I can't think of anything else that compared to. I have so many funny stories from that day though. I was walking around the pitch while the players were warming up. It's once in a lifetime things. I'm very, very lucky to go see it. That was in 2019 now, so it's quite a long time ago. Yeah, I'm very thankful. Another question I want to bring you on. So, what is, Jez, your favourite Arsenal kit that's ever been released? Like actual kit, not merchandise, kit we're talking.
Oh my word. What shirt? Crikey. I've got, okay. The blue and yellow, the original blue and yellow away kit. The 70s one. I love that. And I love the bruised banana, the original bruised banana. I'm going to be wearing it on this show very shortly, because I've actually dug it out and it needs a wash. But it is an actual original bruised banana. And I had that bought for me on my 30th birthday by the wife. actually. And when
Nice.
I hadn't seen that shirt, I hadn't seen it. And when I opened it up, I thought, what the hell is this? What is this pile of crap? It had a furry badge and a furry Adidas thing over here. And I thought, what's this bloody thing? And she went, well, that's your Arsenal's new home kit. I said, is it? Is it really? And I said, no. I said, this is a training kit. And then I remember, start of the 91, the season, they traipsed out of it with that kit on. And I actually loved that shirt. Now, the only thing is whether it will still fit me, because obviously getting a little bit older, the old red wine's taking its time. But yeah, I'm gonna I've got it out of the loft, and it's gonna be washed. The wife's gonna hand wash it. I said, don't put it in the washing machine because it's old. It's gonna be fragile.
Yeah.
So I don't want it falling apart and the badges coming off and all that. But yeah, I actually love that. Now, in hindsight, I love that shirt. I really do. But at the time, I thought, what is this? This is absolute junk. What's going on? Another home kit I really liked was I can't remember what year it was now, JVC one.
Is it the gold one?
No, the red and white.
Red.
And it had these stripes, I think, up here and here. I can't remember who the sponsor was at the time. I have got one. I'll have to dig it out. I'll have to find that one. It'll be in the loft. But the one I really like, that is pure history, is the one the Granddad somehow got hold of from 47, 48. And I'll tell you what, that weighs an absolute bloody ton.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that was like to bloody play football in the winter. No, it is actually cotton. It's not wool like the original shirts were, and they were lamb's wool. But dear God, I can't imagine playing football in that, and playing football in that in the summer. It's so thick. It's not like a modern day cotton shirt like this.
Yeah.
It is so thick, and we'll have to weigh it actually to see how much it weighs.
I mean, you see the ones now, they're like paper. They're literally like paper. The one, the marble one, the white one we had, like recently.
Oh, the limited edition.
Yeah, that one. I got that one, and it's literally like silk. It's like paper. It's like there's nothing to it, and it's all this like dry fit technology and everything now. But I will tell this to everyone in the chat. Eventually, I'll get them all and show them. But my granddad basically pretty much had every shirt there is, and they are all there. I haven't counted them because there's hundreds. But anyone you can think of, they're all the original from what he bought. Like the Bruce Banana, I've got that's an original there. There's this shirt with Henri on the back. So many different ones. So that is all to come, by the way. This one's kind of a little bit of a test as well, just to see what everyone likes.
Reply to the guys. Yeah, you are right. It's the 93 shirt. It's the JVC here. It's the 93 shirt. And well done, guys. You know your stuff.
Yeah, on top. There's so many comments here. I probably won't be able to get through all of them. It's not going to be like an hour like it usually is. Probably going to go for like another 10 minutes, because we're not talking about current day football. If you've joined already, we're fed up with it. So we're diving into a bit of why we are fans. And if you're watching on playback, thank you all for watching. Make sure you're smashing a like, leave comments, leave your stories. I want to hear what everyone's got to say. And who do you support? Does other people is there other teams in there? I know there's a couple. But yeah, I mean, my favorite shirt is difficult because if we're talking in my life, there's not like great standout shirts really. I do love this one. This yellow one from this season is one of my favorites. I really like that. It just feels nice. It fits nice. I would say. Do you remember when we had like the purple and black one?
Yeah.
I liked that one. I like that one too. Home shirts, probably. I can't remember what year it was, but it's red and it's like it was a weird like rubbery material badge, but it was like the full crest and everything with
Yeah.
the leaves and like the proper.
Was that the centenary one?
I think it might have been. I'll try find it. Um, I love that shirt for some reason. Centenary.
Had the big crest around it, didn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. See if I can find it. Probably not. But anyway, you people know what I'm talking about, I'm sure, in the chat. It was very nice. It had it was just I really like that shirt. Like I can't find it. But
Can I just answer this guy? He
yeah,
said,
please.
how much was an Arsenal shirt when I was a kid? My first shirt cost 10 shillings.
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 Wow.
Yeah.
There we go. And now you got to pay about £100. That one was £100. That shirt there, for everything on it. Like it's ridiculous. And you know, like as soon as we lose, pump out Righty with the merch, and all is well again. All is forgiven. Some of the recent kits though. While we're on the topic of kits, the most recent one, this leopard print thing.
Right.
It's disgusting. What are you doing? It's Arsenal Football Club. Like we don't work in a zoo, you know. Like come on, people. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up in a minute because I think we've covered pretty much everything for now. And in the near future, I'll be going on Jez's channel, and we'll be talking more about this sort of thing. But while we're on that topic, Jez, do you want to talk about what your channel is about?
Well, basically, it's going to be a mix and match. The primary part of it for a couple of months, I think, it's going to be it's about Arsenal, the history, and there will be other content. I dropped a video on Sunday about the joke performance at Brighton, and I'll be doing that again. And I'm probably going to drop the next one tomorrow about the history when Arsenal actually turn professional and we see how Arsenal start to move. And they actually move very quickly. The structure of Arsenal moves away from where the actual Arsenal teams are being picked by a committee, and Arsenal appoint their first manager, a proper manager. So, and then from there we move into the times. I'm not going to do every season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to do every season because that's
could be a long one.
Yeah, it'll be just madness. So I'm going to quickly get through to the end of the 1890s and into the 1900s. And there's some very interesting things that happened with Arsenal at the start of the 1900s. And I think it's interesting. There's probably a lot of people think that's boring. There's a guy in the chat here earlier said, I'm not interested in the past. I'm only interested in the future in your chat. Well, okay, fair enough. If that's what you're about, then that's what you're about. But I find it interesting. And there's a lot of people. I've had so many messages. You wouldn't believe. You would not believe the messages I've had on the first two Arsenal histories thingy bobs about people wanting to know more, blah, blah, blah. So the start of Arsenal, yeah, it's a bit boring, but it's going to spice it up because a certain man called William Norris gets involved. And I can tell you, he was not a straight up and front bloke. So some dirty deals start to happen. And yeah, it is what it is. I'm just trying to put it out there because nobody does it. Nobody talks about Arsenal history. And there's people, you know, a lot of people, there's an awful lot of people in the chat here know all about Arsenal in the 90s, 80s. We know about the 70s, but there's a lot of other things happened. The iconic 30s, the late 40s, the 50s. So I'm just going to throw it out there. People don't like it, they don't like it. But I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everyone, link is in the description. Make sure you check it out. It's amazing. And just while I'm looking in the chat, big up, thank you to my mods for sorting some weirdo that I'm not going to give the time of day. But we're going to wrap it up there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little delve into a bit and understanding who we are as fans, because I think it's important that we get Arsenal back up to what it used to be, and the high standards and the family that is the Gooners. So thank you all for watching. Jez, thank you for coming on. I really
Pleasure.
appreciate it. It's been a great show, and shout out to the mods, everyone that's in the chat. You've been absolutely brilliant. And my final words is keep the history in, and that's it.
And keep the history in and get Arteta out, you person.